right now. And age all over the world. We are Halifax, Nova Scotia, everyone on this call. Thank you. Engagement here. Attendees can see all the emojis. Love. We will start in a minute. So I am getting messages better without the video. Testing is us clearly.
All right, guys, good morning. Daniel, can you hear me? Okay, all right. I think your mic is muted, Daniel.
Yeah, I think Sylvia's having a bit of issues, but hello, everybody. Joining in from Halifax, from Nigeria, the UK, Canada, everywhere you are. Thank you for joining us today. Today is an official soft launch of the ER platform and the demo. On the call, we have a couple of representatives from the Halifax government, the Nova Scotian government, recruiters, and special guests, and nurses also attending. We're hoping that over the next 1 hour that we can share a little bit more information on how we can support recruiters to get the talent that they need and to support nurses to get the workplaces that put them first. I don't know, Sylvia, are you back on the call? Is your network better now?
I think while we're waiting for Sylvia, Daniel,
now?
you can just read through the agenda. Sylvia is still breaking.
Principal, is this still choppy?
Okay, I
No,
think
that's
it's much
much better.
now. Yeah, it sounds better. Sylvia, did you get the feedback? It's better now, so you can.
Oh, that's perfect. All right, so let's maybe dig right into it and get started on time. Daniel, can you move us through the slides, please?
Yes, I can.
Beautiful. So as I mentioned earlier, we are calling in from Essential Recruit in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And Essential Recruit is located in Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. And we acknowledge them as the past, present, and future caretakers of this land. This territory is covered by the treaties of peace and friendship, which Mi'kmaq, the Wolastoqiyik, Maliseet, and the Passamaquoddy peoples first signed with the British Crown in 1725. The treaties did not deal with surrender of lands and resources, but in fact recognized Mi'kmaq and the Maliseet title and established the rules for what was to be an ongoing relationship between nations. We are all treaty people. And officially now we can get started on why we're here today and talk a little bit about what is Essential Recruit. ER really started off as a way to resolve some of the challenges that the healthcare world is facing right now, with the shortages in qualified healthcare workers and the demand for healthcare professionals. We knew that to come with innovative solutions to these challenges, we need to think outside the box, and we need to find a way to incorporate technology into the solution. And that's why we have created Essential Recruit. And it's really a technology-based career marketplace that connects employers across Canada and potentially the world with qualified nurses in minutes, and assist nurses around the world and in Canada to find workplaces that put them first. So what is, when we talk about some of the challenges in healthcare, and maybe some of the people on the call that are recruiters or with healthcare organizations, and for some of the talent out there or the nurses in Canada and other parts of the world, the challenge in Canada and in healthcare organizations around the world is, it's not really, like, how can we find the talent? It's not a recruitment issue. It's not an attraction issue either. We have great workplaces in Nova Scotia, Atlantic Canada, and in Canada as a whole. And it's not about retention. The challenge really is about all three of these elements: the finding, the attracting, and retention packaged together. It's not just about finding the qualified candidate that aligns with the organization, but this is very important, and that's why on the Essential Recruit platform, we have clearly identified the skills in a quick snapshot, the skills, the languages, and the specializations of these individuals, and from an employer perspective, what is important for them in their next hire. And from the attraction lens, the goal here is to create workplaces that really puts individuals first, but also to support employers in creating those welcoming and open workplaces. So whether that's from supporting employers on navigating the recruitment process, or supporting the healthcare workers in navigating the credentialing system in Canada, navigating immigration processes, whether on the employer side or the employee side, or with settlement, and with supporting employers with engaging and helping individuals settle in their communities. So this is really what ER has come to. These are some of the challenges ER has come to resolve, which is to find a solution that addresses the finding, the attracting, and the retention of talent. Our values, we have landed on transparency, trust, and community really through a process that Daniel and I went through separately, and then came together as what is important in the industry, what is important for us as individuals, and transparency. Both of us being immigrants or have gone through the immigration process, we understand the challenges in the immigration process from the applicant perspective. But also we understand the challenges from an immigration lens, from the employer perspective, and the complexity of the paperwork, and how untransparent the system can be. So transparency has become one of our strong values, because we want to really have that at the forefront of all the work that we do. Transparency from the employee side, transparency from the employer side, whether that's on the platform, which we have developed to show that transparency, or whether it's from the immigration process, where we support the individuals and the employers so that they're aware of what's happening, and create as much transparency in such a complex system. Trust, we always lead with trust, building this platform and being here today and having all of you on the call today. This is one of our core pillars, and it's a demonstration of that core pillar. And trust is one of the things that we aim to obviously continue to build and continue to have as we in our promises and delivering our services. And in engaging with whether it's with healthcare workers or with recruiters. And last but not least, community. Halifax is home, Nova Scotia is home, and Canada is home. And community is a big piece of the entire equation. You don't move for a job, you don't move for money, you don't move for a package, you move to find community. And community is the solution to build those long-lasting relationships and to build these tight connections and long relationships, and that's why community is also one of our values, and we want to make sure that all the individuals we work with and all the employers we work with have that connection to community, because it's one of our pillars and one of our values. From an essential recruit, and before I get into our guest remarks, I do want to point out that from a recruiter perspective, really the goal of essential recruit from a recruiter is to complement the effort of the recruitment teams and to really collaborate with healthcare organizations and long-term health organizations, so they can have the time to do the other things that's important, whether it's to care for people at their lowest when they're visiting healthcare centers, or for recruiters to have time to interview and to forecast and to fill positions. So really the role of ER is to come in as that link between the employers and the talent, so that on either end you have the time to do what's important to you. All right, this is a quick snippet on ER. It's on Essential Recruit, which is short for ER. We will now move on to invite a very special guest. We have Ifeanyi from the Creative Hub, and I will just say a few words about the Creative Hub. The goal of the Creative Hub is to bring communities and ideas together in the true spirit of collaboration and innovation. So Creative Hub, for those who might not know, or those on the call, is lightly speaking, it's a co-working space. Once you go in depth, it's a place where innovation takes place, really. And their vision is to cultivate that. It's to cultivate collaborative networks that allows community to develop and prosper together. They help the business community find resources, they help businesses scale up, and they help businesses remain competitive. The Creative Hub were one of the first organizations to open doors to Essential Recruit, and we're very pleased to welcome their CEO and their founder, Ifeanyi Imesh. He is a serial entrepreneur, community leader, marketing expert, visionary, and innovator. There are really not enough words to describe Ife. And he is the founder and CEO of many organizations, including My East Coast Experience Media Group, the Mosaic International Film Festival of Arts and Culture, and he is the board director at the Halifax Chamber of Commerce. We are pleased to welcome Ifeanyi, to welcome our guest speaker for today. Ife, over to you.
Hello everyone. Can you hear me? Hello?
We can hear you great.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Sylvia, for the kind introduction. That was very kind of you. I would like to acknowledge the presence of the co-founders of Essential Recruits, which is Sylvia God and Daniel Moker, the chair of the board of Halifax Chamber of Commerce, who is here as well. Also, representatives from the Nova Scotia Department of Labour, Skills and Immigration. If there are any MLAs here, we want to acknowledge you. Healthcare organizations and long-term care facilities representatives, I'd like to acknowledge your presence. It's actually, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to see key players in different industries attend this exciting soft launch of Essential Recruits today, also known as ER, a revolutionary healthcare hiring platform. It's safe to say I was there from the inception. I obviously from Sylvia's voice, you can hear the energy. And at some point you would hear Daniel as well. When they spoke to me about this platform, months and months back, I could see the vision. I said, you know what, we would open our doors to you to house, not only house, this idea, but also give it a platform to allow it to thrive and incubate the business. And to be here today for the soft launch is just amazing. You both and everyone on your team have put in your blood, sweat, and tears, and it's paying off. So good job. I'm especially excited to be present today because ER has been one of the integral companies that is part of the Creative Hub. Like I mentioned, watching Daniel and Sylvia grow this innovative idea from conception to reality and leverage the resources we have at the Creative Hub has been amazing to witness. And I'm even more excited to watch this platform grow and serve the pressing needs for more skilled healthcare workers in the province. Finding innovative solutions to our current challenges and using technology in new ways is part of why I'm so passionate about immigrant entrepreneurship, because they are often the ones that are able to bring innovative ideas to light. Now, speaking of innovative ideas, I want to introduce a special guest. I'd like to formally introduce Fatin Al-Shajli to give her remarks. Fatin is they're not a lot of words, but I'll try and just summarize in the interest of time. Fatin is the co-founder and chief creative officer of WeStem, a full-service ad agency with a stellar client roster that includes TELUS, Canadian Space Agency, and Government of Canada, just to mention a few. It is important to note that Fatin is the first female immigrant chair of the Halifax Chamber of Commerce in its 250 years of history. Fatin is one of Canada's top 100 most powerful women and has been inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2022. Fatin is one of Atlantic Canada's top 25 most powerful women in business, and she's one of 5 honorees for her work in the community and leadership. There are not a lot of words, but I'll just stop there. I'd like to formally introduce Fatin to share her opening remarks.
Thank you, Ife, for the kind introduction. It's absolutely a pleasure to be here with you and everyone today. One of the key elements of our society here in Canada or the world over is healthcare. How we take care of our most vulnerable ones is how we define ourselves as people. Healthcare, as Sylvia has mentioned, and you as well, Ife, healthcare globally is going through a huge talent crunch, a bottleneck of demand from those who need help, a lack of supply from those who provide help is the reality we are living in today. We need new ways of delivering healthcare, as the old ways or in the old system clearly does not work. Wait lists, as have been previously mentioned, have become commonplace when access to care should be equitable and easy for any and all. One of the missions of Healthy Me, an enterprise that I head up right now, is to redefine how we deliver care. We are taking on the bottleneck and are getting past it with evidence-based care and therapies. A new crop of care providers will help us innovate and create new pathways of delivering healthcare. And I am fortunate to work with members of my team here at WeStem, my ad agency, where we are building solutions in AR, VR, AI, and big data for healthcare the world over. I'm glad to see that we are looking at new ways of bringing talent to our industry. And with the help of government at both the federal and provincial levels, I am looking forward to meeting and in exceeding the demands our system is facing today. From easing transitions of care provided, immigrating to Canada, to increasing capacities in our universities, to empowering our allied health care professionals, I'm truly looking forward to when we can all pull together to meet the needs of our community. With that, I'm looking forward to the conversation today and how we will all attend to this talent crunch and help those who desperately need care at a time of severe need. Thank you, everyone, for the opportunity to address you all and to be here with you today. And please do feel free to reach out if you need to speak about or discuss any healthcare matters through the social media platforms. Thank you, Ify, and everyone.
Thank you, Faten, for your remarks. I know some of the people on the call can't see the participants, but we are 250 participants joining in from around the world, and it's truly such a huge monumental moment for us to see so many people interested to resolving and addressing these challenges together collectively. As a team, we have individuals from Nova Scotia Works, we have individuals from immigration organizations, we have individuals from the Nova Scotia Health Authority, others from healthcare organizations around Atlantic Canada and Canada as a whole. So it's such a pleasure to see everyone. A huge shout out to all the other individuals and the nurses and the healthcare workers who are making this come to life. Right now, let's delve into the ER model and the ER demo with my co-founder. I guess we didn't really introduce ourselves, but I am Sylvia, the co-founder of ER, and I'll turn it over to my co-founder, Daniel, to take it over. Daniel, go ahead.
Thanks, Sylvia. Yes, we actually made the mistake of not actually introducing ourselves earlier. We did a fantastic job of trying to introduce everyone else but ourselves, but please forgive that error. Like Sylvia said, my name is Daniel Moka, co-founder at ER, and this has been almost a decade-long journey to get to this point. And like Sylvia said, to be honest, it's really humbling to see the response that we're getting right now, and to see we budgeted for having about 100 people on this call, but to see us almost hitting 300 is remarkable, you know, and that could have not been done just on our own power, but it's everyone here that has collectively joined us to make this successful. Without further ado, I'm going to try to go straight into the ER demo because I know that we are short on time, so I'll try to help us keep to that time. The team usually jokes, the technology team in particular usually jokes that I talk too much. So we have a pre-recorded video so that I don't overshare and then this demo runs for an hour. So we have a pre-recorded video that will be played later on. But before that, there's a few sections that I wanted to touch on this presentation first, so that everyone can get a good understanding of what ER is at the essence and the journey that we're trying to go on. Sylvia mentioned earlier some of the pillars that guide our development, and that is in finding, attracting, and retaining skilled talent. Over the last 10 years, we've been tweaking individually and as a collective to try to come up with a solution. Because again, like Sylvia mentioned, we don't believe that the problems with our healthcare industry is a finding, attracting, or retention issue, the combination of all of these things. So ER is a platform that we've developed to take into cognizance all of this into one. And for our first version of this platform, which we're going to be demoing today, we focused on the find phase of the platform, because we know that the journey to getting a full holistic product is going to take a while to get there. But we didn't want to delay this because our healthcare needs a solution now, not later. So for the find phase, our goal was simple: build a platform where nurses in Canada and around the world can find recruiters and workplaces instantly, and then give them the resources to be able to complete the migration or the relocation or whatever they need to feel welcome and settled. And for recruiters to also know that anytime they're looking for skilled talent, or anytime that they need to replace a nurse or a CC or a PSW or a personal support worker that has left the organization, they have somewhere that they can go. And that's why when we were coming up with the brand and putting all of this together, we wanted to describe ourselves as the emergency room for hard-to-fill healthcare positions, because we know that at this point in our healthcare industry, we need a solution that does the hard work of finding and helping us get and retain those talents. So without further ado, I'm going to go into the next part of the presentation. Pretty much the journey to begin the life cycle on the ER platform starts with our homepage. We have a very clearly written statement there where it's a human-led approach to healthcare hiring. And the reason why we say it's a human-led approach to healthcare hiring is that in as much as this is a technology platform, we want to keep the humanity at the center of it, because the challenges that nurses face are not something that you can put everyone into a box and solve the technology. You still need the human touch to be able to understand individual situations and problems. And the same application also, the same thing also applies rather to recruiters. So for nurses on the call, when you go on the website, all you need to do to begin your journey is to click on I need a job. And that essentially gets you into signing up, adding your emails, and helping us get to know you better as a person, as a client, as an applicant, and as a human. Once you're done entering your emails and you've gotten a verification code to verify your email, there you then go into like a set of onboarding questions. This set of onboarding questions that we've created here helps us really delve into the essence of you as a person. We collect a lot of information on your location, your preferences, your work experience, your specialties and requirements. The specialties and requirements that you have experience in. We also collect some data around retention, because we want to understand how can we support you to feel welcome and thriving in any community or any workplace that it puts you in. And we collect a few more personal details that is all summed up and help to create a resume for you that is sent to the recruiters. So this, as much as it is a data collection point for us, it is also a one-pager resume builder for you, because we believe that the more information that you put in here would help us be able to match you to the right recruiters that are looking for your amazing skills and talent. So if you're a nurse on the call, when you're putting in your information, make sure that you sell yourself. If you have 6 million specialties, by all means, straight in there. Show off all your amazing skills, because recruiters want to see these things, you know. And even if you speak several languages, throw it in there. Even if it's a language that is not spoken in Canada, you never know. Canada is one of the most diverse communities that you can find around the world. So you never know. You could actually end up catering to patients, you know, that actually want to hear the languages that you speak, and you can connect with them. So even if you speak Mandarin, or you speak Yoruba if you're from Nigeria, or you speak English or French, put it in there. Let's let the recruiters know that whoever they're bringing on board has so many diverse skills that will be beneficial to them in the long term. For recruiters, the journey is similar to the nurses. It starts from the homepage, where you then click on I want to hire, and you go into a page similar to the nurses, where you then input your information. But unlike the nurses, we have one page where we just collect all the information that we need from you, which includes your name, your phone number, your company's name, and the location of your company. And that is how you get onboarded into the ER platform. And for recruiters, you can then find nurses instantly. And for nurses, you can then find recruiters on the platform as well. I'm going to play a video shortly, but I'll just need to set that up. So just please bear with me 1 second. Okay, so over the next 15 minutes, thereabouts, you're going to be listening to the voice of our product lead, Sheon Onireti. She is an amazing friend, colleague, and she has decided that she was going to take the lead to demo this product to you, because she feels like Daniel is going to talk too much and we're going to spend 2 hours on this call. So she's wrapped up all the key functionalities of the Essential Recruit platform in 15 minutes. But if you have any questions, feel free to use the Q&A box, and would attend to them at the end of the call. But I hope you enjoy everything that is that you hear and would connect after this. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to the Essential Recruits demo of our live website. My name is Shion and today we're going to be doing a demo of the website, and I'm going to be showing specifically what it looks like on both the applicant side as well as the recruiter side. So let's get started. So accessing our website from the applicant side, I'll go ahead and start that off. So you'd go on the website here and click I need a job. Pretty straightforward in order for you to create an account. So I'm going to use a test account, a test email, sorry, to create an account. So you enter your email address. You get a
Sorry, let me just reload that page. This is the thing about technology. Sometimes it's very unpredictable, so please bear with us as we navigate through this.
work. Okay. Enter a password. So I'm going to make my password test1234 exclamation mark, test 1234 exclamation mark. I don't recommend you do this because it's in terms of security, it's not the best password. I will put my name here. And you're in. So I'll use that email address, the dummy email address here. To log in. Like I said, the password was test1234 exclamation mark. Log in. And I'm in. So in the interest of time, I'm not going to go through everything here, but I will go ahead and show you what it looks like once you complete all these steps. So once you are able to create your account, the next step is for you to set up your account. And with this, you'd be adding your current location, provinces that you're interested in, things related to your specialties and requirements, education, information regarding retention, and your personal details. So you take some time to fill all that in, and then you'd be done with creating your account. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to log out of this and actually go into an account that we've already created for this demo. Like I said, in the interest of time. Okay. Log in, and there we have it. So this account was created by Daniel. So we see Daniel's beautiful face. So this is what it will look like once you complete entering all your information. This is what your profile will look like. So we'll have your education, your specialties here, certifications, location preference, your licenses, experience, any documentation, whether it be your resume, language testing, or your credential evaluation, and then your contact information as well. You can also upload your picture. You'd have the opportunity to upload your picture. And then we have an option to upload a video of yourself. The reason why we do that is because we don't want our applicants' applications to be the typical application. We want them to be able to include a video of themselves, which really helps to put some personality and voice to the application. So I think this actually allows the applicants to kind of boost their profile by incorporating anything about themselves here. So this is what it looks like once you create an account as an applicant, and this is what your profile looks like. And then I'm going to go here to the job board. And here at the job board, unfortunately, we don't have any jobs posted just yet because this is the live website. But ideally, you would see all the jobs here. And you have an opportunity to filter the jobs by experience, salary, job type, just to narrow down exactly what you're looking for as an applicant. Also, you have the opportunity to search using a keyword. Maybe it could be specific to your specialty. You could have the opportunity to do that here in the job board as well. Additionally, we have the applications page, where after you send an application, you should be able to see all your applications here on this page. Additionally, you see where you stand in terms of each application. So whether you're interviewing, whether your application is in review, whether you've been given the offer, or you've received a rejection with an explanation, all that will be here on this page as well. Okay, so now let's move on to, I'm going to log out, and let's move on to what the website looks like as a recruiter. So I'm going to go back to our homepage here, and I'm going to click on I want to hire. Same thing here, you're able to add your address. So I will, and I wonder if this will work. Let's use a different email address actually, just to be safe. All right, so creating an account as a recruiter. So here's my email address. I'm gonna get that email verification code again for security reasons. Password, I'm gonna use the same password that I used previously, which is test1234 exclamation mark. Like I said, it's not something I'd recommend for your password for the sake of security. And then we have the opportunity for you to add in your information as a recruiter. So I'm gonna add my information here. Let's change it to Canada. Company's name, Essential Recruit. Location, Ontario. City, I'm in Toronto, so I'll put Toronto. Okay, and create. So done. That's how you create your account as a recruiter. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to log into an account that we already created from the recruiter side. So you're able to get a holistic view of what it looks like. So I'm gonna grab that email address for our test account. So this is what it's going to look like when you create an account as a recruiter. Also, first thing you're able to see is you're able to see the talent pool. So here you'll have access to literally everyone who has created an account with Essential Recruit. So everyone meaning applicants. So you're able to see all the applicants on this page. So one thing you also notice is that we have stars next to each applicant's name. And the reason why we have that is because we want to let the recruiters know, we want to let you know when these applicants are able and willing to start on a position. So we have a legend here where the green star means that they can start in less than 6 weeks. Yellow star means that they can start within 6 months. And I guess we can call this orange. Orange means that they can start in over 6 months. But I would specifically say that they're able to start within 9 months. So so green star, they can start at 6 weeks. Yellow star, they can start within 6 months. And then orange star, they're able to start within 9 months. So that will kind of help in terms of knowing which I guess, opportunity is right for which candidate, depending on how quickly you will need a candidate or an applicant for a job. So I'm going to randomly, actually, I won't be doing that. I will not be randomly selecting an applicant. I don't want to get into anyone's personal information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go into a test account that we created. Again, Daniel, basically a superstar. His face is everywhere. So Daniel's applicant account. So here you can see a snapshot of his account. And let's say I'm looking to hire for a particular role. I can see the job role that the applicant is interested in, the language that they speak, skills, specialties, licensing, location, certifications. And if everything looks good, I can actually say, you know what? I want to actually request an interview with you. So I'll go ahead and click that. So once I click on request an interview, automatically Daniel is going to be notified that I'm interested in having an interview. Also, one thing I can do is if I see a candidate and maybe I may not have a role for them immediately, but they have a good profile and I'm interested in seeing how I can find a role that could fit them in the future, you have the opportunity to watch their profile. And add it to your watch list. So I did that here with Daniel's application. And when I go to my watch list, I have a list of applicants that I'm keeping a close eye on for. Maybe there's no role, like I said, there's no role currently for them, but there will be a role in the future. And I want to make sure that, they don't get lost in the mountain of applications or applicants. Additionally, we have a section here where I can post jobs. So job posting page. So I can post a job by clicking on post job. Here I have the opportunity to include all the details about the company, their URL, the job title, all the details specific to this job, salary range, all those things, and as well as benefits as we continue on. But in the interest of time, I won't be going through all that. So that's what it looks like when you want to post a job. Additionally, you're able to see, a history of the jobs that you've posted previously. So let's say you delete it and you realize, you know what, I actually want to repost this. You have the opportunity to republish this job as well. So that is what it looks like on the recruiter side of Essential Recruits. One thing I didn't discuss actually in the very beginning, and that's my mistake, was the ability for recruiters to subscribe to our plans. So currently, you know what I'll do is I'm actually going to sign out. Well, even before doing that, here, when I click on manage my subscriptions, I can see the information related to the particular plan that I've selected for myself as a recruiter. So I'm going to actually log out and log back in using that test account. So we're able to see the different subscriptions that we have. So let me go ahead and go and grab this email address. And then the password test 1, 2, 3, 4 exclamation mark. So this is the first time logging in. On the right side, you see a button that says try for free. And when you do click on that, now you're able to see the plans that we have and what's included in each of those plans, as well as the pricing for that. So you're able to see that when you first create the account. And then obviously you can choose a plan and move on with that. So that's what it looks like from the recruiter side. And I've also shown you what it looks like on the applicant side. Thank you so much. And I'll hand it back off to Daniel for the next portion of the demo.
I was just looking for my unmute button for a second there. But thank you everyone for listening to the demo. I hope that you enjoyed it and it provided some insight into what we've created at Essential Recruit. This is not the final product of what we can do. It's a long journey ahead of us, but we believe that we are definitely on the right track to getting there. And over the next couple of weeks, what we've done is that we will be reaching out to a couple of organizations who have indicated interest in piloting this with us, to set up their profiles properly, to post their jobs. And we have a select number of nurses on the platform who we're also going to be using to see how we can help them get jobs, value-aligned jobs, and bring them to the province and Canada as a whole. I hope that you found the demo very interesting and insightful. And feel free to reach out to us at hello@essentialrecruit.com if anything pops up. And if you want to reach out for more inquiries, just let us know and we'll be there to assist you along the way. Thanks, and thanks, Sylvia. I'll hand this back to you. Let's go.
Thank you, Daniel. And before we go to introducing iSense, I see a lot of questions from nurses that are outside of Canada around the process to get credentialing and the immigration process. And we will actually hold a session shortly, and we'll be able to upload this information on the platform as well soon around the immigration process and the credentialing process. And we will be inviting representatives from organizations in Canada to talk about the settlement process after. So you won't be waiting for too long to get the information. Just hang tight, and we will let you know when we hold these sessions in the next little while. Speaking of settlement, I'd like to welcome the iSense representative. We have Mohja to talk about iSense and what the organization is. Can we change slides, Daniel? Mohja is the Manager Employment and the International Educated Nurse Bridging Program Manager. And what the Nursing Bridging Program is, when healthcare workers come to Canada without getting their credentialing done or without completing the entire process, they can come be employed in Canada as continuing care assistants or PSWs or personal support workers. There are many titles for them, but what that means is not really practicing as a nurse. And as they go through as they go train and upgrade their courses or go through the NNAS process, again, which we'll talk about in a different session in detail, and complete the credentialing process with Canada and the province, what iSense does is support through that process. And before I pretend to know anything about what their services are and how they go through it, I will pass it on to Mohja to take it from here.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for attending the session, and thank you for inviting us to participate in the session. As Sylvia mentioned, I'm Mohja Alia, and I manage the employment and bridging programs at iSense, including the International Educated Nurses Program. And today with me, I have Elizabeth, who is our coordinator for the International Educated Nurses Bridging Program. I just want to mention that iSense is the largest immigrant settlement and services organization in Nova Scotia. We're working with immigrants wherever they are coming from, as well as pre-arrival. So wherever you are living in your country of origin, once you have an approved immigration status, like, if it's through the Nova Scotia Immigration and People Growth or through IRCC, if you are approved to immigrate to Canada and to Nova Scotia, we will be very happy to start working with you on everything related to your licensure process, etc. And of course, we work very closely with Essential Recruit to make sure that we are supporting you once you register with them as well. So our services range from employment counseling, providing information about pathway to licensure information, helping you with your job search process, connecting you to different places. So we are working with many nurses pre-arrival We are supporting them by maybe being connected to essential recruit to see if there is an opportunity for them with employers who are registered with them. So we provide holistic programs and support that depends on the barriers facing you as an internationally educated nurse. If you are a nurse who's facing language difficulties, then there are programs for people who are facing those difficulties. And it's focused on communication in the healthcare system. It's focused on passing exams for like the CILBAN, which is the Canadian Language Benchmark Assessment for Internationally Educated Nurses. It focuses on preparing you for the IELTS exam, name it. The key for those services to be accessed definitely is being approved by the immigration office in Nova Scotia or at the national level. I can go on so many details because our bridging programs are not only for nurses, our bridging programs are for nurses, doctors, pharmacists, dentists, engineers, accountants, name it. All the programs aim to prepare you for the labor market, to prepare you to go through the exam process, and then support you in getting into jobs in your field. One very important program that you may be interested in hearing about, and this is only available once you land in Nova Scotia or in one of the Atlantic region provinces. The Atlantic region is New Brunswick, PEI, and Newfoundland. We offer an Atlantic Immigrant Career Loan Fund where you can borrow up to $30,000 to pay for your certification exams. So if your certification exams cost about like $10,000, you can borrow this money to pay for your licensure and pay for your exams and then pay back over a period of 5 to 6 years. This is really, it helped so many nurses in the past few years, like a number of years, for more than 10 years, many of the nurses used the funds and they managed to pass their exams and become licensed. To tell you the truth, my advice to you, I know I didn't have much time, I only have 5 or 7 minutes, but my advice to you is to definitely participate once you are registered, even if you gain employment as a long-term care aide or personal care worker, and if you have a nursing background, once you get into the job, please connect with iChance to join one of the programs that are suitable for you. And our International Educated Nurses program has been going on for more than 6 or 7 years now. It really helps international educated nurses in preparing for the exams. So, and I will ask in a few minutes, I will ask Sylvia in a couple of minutes, I'll ask Elizabeth to mention, to give you a brief description of the program and your eligibility, because you are eligible pre-arrival. Once you get the approval from immigration, you will be eligible to access any of the services. So I'll be open for questions later on, but in the meantime, I'm just going to ask Elizabeth to briefly introduce the IEN Bridging Program. Thank you.
Thank you, Moja. And good afternoon, good evening, good morning to wherever you are. I'm Elizabeth, as Moja mentioned. I'm the Bridging Program Coordinator for International Educated Nurses at ISANS. And briefly, the program that Moja mentioned is the orientation program for IENs. And what it is providing you an opportunity while you are working on your licensure. Once you are nominated for Nova Scotia or designated to arrive in Nova Scotia and is an ISANS registered client, you will be referred to my program and I will be working with you pre-arrival or post-arrival with regards to your journey to licensure. And I work closely with the employment specialist at ISANS and the language support team in providing you the holistic support as you prepare for your licensure journey. The program has a classroom setting where we provide an opportunity for nursing educators to meet and deliver the modules, nursing modules that we have identified where the IENs may have some um, may have some gaps in their education, learning, and experience. This is to prepare an IEN to know how nursing is being practiced in Nova Scotia, the standards of practice in Nova Scotia, and at the same time, just to keep them abreast with what is going on in the nursing profession as they wait for their NNAS result or while waiting for their assessment with the provincial regulatory body. This is in short a platform for IENs to be able to also improve their communication skills and English proficiency, which is very important in becoming a licensed nurse in Nova Scotia and of course in the workplace. And I know we are limited, we have a limited amount of time for our presentation, but we would be happy to entertain questions after the call or in the Q&A portion, or reach out to ISANS and you can send us your question and we will be able to provide you some answers that we can. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Daniel and Sylvia and the organizers of this event.
Thank you so much, Mohja and Elizabeth. Yes, we have lots of questions in the chat, and I think maybe we will leave any immigration, IELTS, NNAS related questions to a session which we can extensively give you a little bit more background. This session today is it's merely the first session to just introduce what ER is and the services that can be accessed through ER, but we do plan to go in depth with you around the immigration support, the credentialing support, the requirements, and how to be successful. For those who are already on PR or in Canada, you don't have to go through that process. You can be directly employed with an employer. Even if you're outside of Nova Scotia or Atlantic Canada, you can still work across provinces with a PR or with an open work permit. But we will answer all your questions in a separate session, and we'll try to get through all the questions that we've received today, and we'll allow for some questions in a short little bit. For now, I want for us to hear from one of our nurses, actually, Prince Will, who is a UK nurse and made the jump to Canada and got designated with Canada. Prince Will, over to you.
Hello, good afternoon. I hope I'm loud and clear. Can you hear me clearly?
Mm-hmm.
All
Yes.
right. Yeah. Good morning. Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining at this time. From the live section, I can see we have around 300 participants actively joining this section. It's really interesting to see a lot of nurses. I mean, we have nurses right here from the Caribbean, nurses from England. We have nurses from Philippines. We have nurses from Hong Kong. We have nurses from India. We have nurses from Sri Lanka. We have we have a lot of nurses from different continents across the world. So we just know the type of the numbers of people who are joining on this section, and I'm sure that I think we just clocked up 300 now. So just for us to know, we just clocked 302. So we have a lot of people who are very, very active and interested in exploring international opportunities in Canada. When Daniel reached out to me and said, Prince Will, there's an innovative platform that's helping nurses transition into international nurses in Canada. So like, why not? I'm going to be on ground to help you in providing all the support necessary needed in this area as well. So I'm super excited to see everybody on this call. So for everybody on this call, the nurses, my attention is to you at this time. I just want you to, number one, leverage on this technology. I mean, right now, the world is changing. Information technology, digital technology, artificial intelligence, these are the new drivers of the 21st century civilization. So gone are the days where employers will have to start scouting on social media platform or active emails to send employment. Nowadays, we have digitalization. We have platforms like this where we can say, okay, let's get a pool of 50 to 70 nurses who have this skill set and can easily transition to join our organization. And we're super excited of what Essential Recruit is doing. And I want you all nurses on the platform to do what okay into it, create your profile, and get started. Guys, a lot of things are happening. Canada right now is one of the most preferred destinations for international educated nurses. Like for me, I've practiced in 3 continents, 3 countries, in Africa, in Europe, and currently in North America. So I've been there, I've done that. If there's someone who can tell you about it, trust me, it's Prince like I do. I mean, talking about Canada, Canada is one of those few countries in the world where as a nurse, you can get your permanent residency from your home country. So you have a direct platform to get permanent residency. If you're applying from India through Express Entry Provincial Nominee, you can become a permanent resident in that country. Trust me, it's a big deal. And secondly, Canada is also one of those few countries where you can actually bring your family, not just your spouse or your kids. You can actually bring your siblings and your parents into the country with your super visa. So it has a lot of benefit in terms of helping you to settle. And I was just checking through St. Fraser, Canada Minister for Employment, Immigration, and I just realized that Canada introduced over 273 Canadian citizens just 2022. So Canada is a population of, let's say, currently we have 35 million people in Canada, compared to England, which we have above 75. If you check the number of people who are becoming citizens in Canada yearly, the number of Canada is actually ×2 of those in other countries like in England. So Canada is one of those countries that captures your holistic interest. Right now, in terms of barrier to practice, there are a lot of programs right now in different provinces, in different states in Canada that can help you come into Canada to practice as a nurse. Recently in Ontario, we saw these changes happening there, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, lots of changes. And if you are scared that, if I come to Canada, I'll have to start as a CCA, I'll have to start as a PSW, it is the normal thing in every part of the world. If you are the best nurse in India, if you are the best nurse in Philippines, if you are the best nurse in Sri Lanka, as long as you're coming to a new country, we should know that you cannot automatically start working as a nurse. You must be subjected to the system of that country by going through some adaptation courses and programs that can help you integrate into the standard operating procedure, the culture, and have a proper orientation on what it looks like to work in Canada. All right, so don't say, okay, I'm coming. Me, I came as a CCA too. I came as a PSW, and I'm currently on my journey to becoming an RN. So life is a journey, and we have to take it in stages. So if you're scared, okay, I'm going to come as a CCA, trust me, it's going to worth the experience and the sacrifice in the future. I mean, coming to a country where you can become a citizen in less than 3 years, trust me, you can't beat that. And Canada, of course, have one of the most booming economy in the world. So guys, it's not enough for you to join this Zoom call today. Take an action plan, be actively registered on the essentialrecruit.careers. Go on that platform, create your profile, and get noticed. Recruiters are on this call. I forgot to mention that we have, you might not see them on the panelist section, but we have active recruiters who are listening from the listener section, looking forward to meeting exceptionally talented pool of nurses on this platform. So guys, make sure you take action and continue to follow our activities. We have more and more program impact, and I'm sure Daniel is going to be unleashing more of those information as the section proceed. Thank you once again. My name is Prince Will Agedo. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prince Will, for the information. And yes, Prince Will is right. We will have to do another sessions. Obviously, there's a lot of gaps in information, and we will provide you with answers to some of the gaps that you have. And hopefully by the end of the next session, you'll have a lot more answers than questions. And again, this is an introductory session where we get to meet different people in the community. We start off by the Creative Hub and our guest speaker Fatin talking about the healthcare challenges in Canada and Nova Scotia, and the work that's being done to become a more attractive destination for healthcare workers. As we go through the demo of the platform and learn a little bit about what ER does and how can ER as a solution patch some of those gaps, and then talking a little bit about the experience of someone who has navigated the system. so we will have sessions, and I know there are some people here that are already in Canada. We will have sessions targeting to those who are already in Canada, and other sessions targeting those who are outside of Canada to help resolve any gaps of information or knowledge. And we'll also have an immigration expert come talk about some of the immigration pathways and how can you kind of set the foundation for success from an immigration lens once you are selected for a job or once you are hired by an employer. So we will get to that, we promise, but we are out of time. So now I'll just open it for a quick Q&A, and maybe I'll just encourage to not ask questions about the immigration system, about NNAS or the NCLEX for now, until we go through our next session, and then we'll have a little bit more information for you and provide some more clarity.
Can I add one last thing, Sylvia? For participants who are in Nova Scotia, and if they have open work permit or even a closed work permit, and they need to access our programs, they can have access to that. So the ones who are not eligible for our services are the ones who are from other countries who are not accepted as immigrants. But if they are accepted as immigrants, like if they are accepted, they can definitely start accessing services. If they are living in Nova Scotia and they have open work permit, or they are working with employers and they need to prepare for the exams, they can definitely connect with iSense.
Absolutely, that's a very good point. I don't know if we have anyone from Nova Scotia on the call, but we do have individuals from outside of Nova Scotia. For those who are outside of Nova Scotia, and Mohaja, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, if you move to Nova Scotia, then with an employer or independently, then you can still access the services at iSense,
Yes,
even
absolutely.
though you landed in another province or you came from another province. Perfect.
But they have to move, of course. They have to move to Nova Scotia first. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Please put your questions in the chat for our speakers. So maybe to iSense or to, I don't know if Faten is still on the call. She's not. So maybe to iSense or to Prince Will.
There's a question about from someone, one of the clients. He's saying, asking if the evaluation from WES enough for them to work in as a nurse. No, the answer is no for that, for sure. I know it's a licensure question, but for everybody needs to start by the National Nursing Assessment Services. And I'm sure Sylvia will be working on bringing people in to talk about this.
Mohaja, I think Alberta has actually removed the NNAS requirement and has allowed with the West requirement, but we are still, we're still seeing if that is an actual policy in place or not. But there is some chatter about that. We did hear about that chatter. We still are yet to confirm if this has actually manifested into a program or not.
I don't think so. I don't think they will change it because all the regulatory bodies, regulators in each province, they won't start even decide on what to do next before they get an NNAS report. So maybe because what they do, they evaluate their credentials and their work experience, etc. So maybe if Alberta is doing it, it's going to be an interesting thing.
Yeah, it's going to be. We will have absolutely. We will clarify the information and have someone working within Alberta or some of the other provinces talk about some of the programs if they're offered. And again, that will be during the immigration session that we'll hold over the next little while. And I saw a couple more questions around the immigration process. So we will save those and we will copy these questions and answer them during our next session. There is a question around getting internships. And to just clarify, most of the programs, immigration programs, are actually employer-led. So that means that an employer has to initiate the conversation. So the Atlantic Immigration Program and some of the provincial nominee programs all require Express Entry doesn't, but most of the other programs do require an employer offer, and that's why Essential Recruit does become that middle, that connector that connects individuals who have the skills and the qualifications to the employers that need those skills and qualifications. So my advice to you at this point, before we go through the immigration session, is to really take the time to update your profile on the Essential Recruit platform and to really list any certifications, any IELTS testing that you've done, your scores, your WES, anything that you have that you think is of value. Please upload that and add that on your profile so that employers can see that you have all the necessary requirements, which makes the process a lot easier for them. I think the rest of the questions are all immigration related, and again, I will take those. And just for the interest of time, I think we will wrap this up to let everyone get back to their days. Thank you everyone for coming. It's truly been a pleasure having you all here today. And again, this is step one of many steps in making sure that you have the information that you need to make an informed decision. Transparency is one of our values, and we will hold ourselves to that and provide as much information from the proper sources as soon as we have it. And there are a lot of questions for ISANS and lots of interest from ISANS. So if ISANS is willing and open, we will invite them to come in again and maybe just talk about some of the bridging programs and the transition for a CCA or a PSW to an RN or an LPN in Atlantic Canada and Nova Scotia. So we will. Mohja, you have something to say?
No, I just wanted to say that, please visit our website because they will learn about all the bridging programs, because we have a program for long-term care aid for clients living in Nova Scotia, of course. They have to be living in Nova Scotia because it includes an employer component. And so if they are interested, they can visit isans.ca. They can find out more information. The only thing that I just want to warn people about, that if the request is coming from somebody who is not approved as an immigrant, it will be so difficult for us to reply. We are not neglecting your questions if you send us an email. Just that in our mandate, because we are funded by government of Nova Scotia and the federal government, it's really difficult for us to work with non-approved applicants. So, but we will be very happy to provide information and participate with Sylvia and Daniel to provide any information if needed about the challenges that you could face and maybe ways of solving those problems with ER as well.
Absolutely, that's a very good point, Mohja. We know that a lot of you have a lot of questions, and we will answer these questions in as many sessions as we need, and we will have as many sessions as we need to make sure you have the answers that you need. And we will invite representatives from ISANS and other organizations to come talk about processes and supports that they're able to provide. But like Mohja said, overloading questions, and I know everyone is excited to kind of start the steps, but a lot of organizations are unable to deal with to engage with individuals who are outside of Nova Scotia or Canada right now. So be patient. We will we're kind of that connector, and we will be able to provide you with all the information that you'll need. And if we don't know the answer, then we will get you the answers that you need. So just be patient with us. We'll get there, and we will hopefully guide you on this journey and make sure that it's as smoothless and as efficient as possible, and effective for everyone. With that, I just want to wrap it up and say thank you to everyone. Special thanks to Elizabeth, who has been so diligent answering questions. I really appreciate you. You can join any call that you want because your answers are on point. So really appreciate you. Mohja, thank you for the information. The work that iScience does is monumental and instrumental in Nova Scotia. So thanks for all your work. And for Princewell, for sharing your experience. Thank you so much. And we will obviously be leaning a lot on you to understand some of the challenges that nurses might face in making the transition from home countries to Canada, but also those who are in Canada are trying to find employment and connect with equitable employers. So thank you, Princewell. Over 300 nurses and people, I guess, on the call today. So thank you all for your time. This has been an exciting time and an exciting launch for us. And we hope to see you on the platform, and we will see you in the next session.
And by the way, if there were any answers that were wrong, it's not Elizabeth's mistake sometimes, it's my mistake because I'm showing as Elizabeth as well. In the chat box.
We won't come after you, Elizabeth.
Don't come after
We won't come after you, Elizabeth.
Come after me. Thank you.
We won't come after you. Thank you, everyone. We will be in touch shortly. Take care.
Bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
So guys, if you're still on the call, we have a WhatsApp group, like a waiting area to get information to our subsequent programs and our next live meetings. Please do well to join the link on the Jumbotron, okay? So you can get access to join our group, or just send Princewell a message, or just go on Facebook and type Princewell Agedu. Thank you guys. We're looking forward to get you on board, and I'm looking forward to see you in Canada. Cheers. Thank you, Toby. Toby has been behind the scene making this meeting exceptional. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Toby.
Thank you, CB. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah.